Good morning, everyone. How are you all? I hope everyone is happy. God bless you and your family. In the previous section, we saw about the cell. Cells are important element of livings, be it the human or plant or animals. Every living organism is composed of cells. Next one, discovery of the cell. The cell was first discovered by Robert Hooke in the year 1665, which can be found to be described in this book Micrographia. In this book, he gave 60 observations in detail of various objects under a quartz compound microscope. Hooke discovered a multitude of tiny pores that he named cells. Now, move on. Parts of the cell. First one, cell membrane. One of the most important part of the cell is cell membrane. The cell membrane acts as the semi-permeable barrier. It allows only a few molecules across it and defines the majority of the organically produced chemicals inside the cell. The primary components of the cell are cell membrane, nucleus, and cytoplasm. The nucleus and cytoplasm are enclosed within the cell membrane, that is also known as the plasma membrane. Next one, cytoplasm. Another important part of the cell is the cytoplasm. It is a jelly-like substance that is present between the nucleus and the cell membrane. There are a number of other components or organelles of the cell that can be found in the cytoplasm. These are mitochondria, Golgi bodies, ribosome, etc. Next one, nucleus. The nucleus is believed to be the most important component of the living cells. It is located in the center of the cell and is usually spherical in shape. We saw about this in the last class. I welcome everyone back to my class. Today we are going to discuss about cell number, shape and size. There is no exaggeration in the fact that we are alive because of the 10 trillion cells in our body. Each of the cells is repeatedly performing the action in our body to help us get through the day-to-day activities. The role and the importance of the cell are undeniable, but have you ever pondered about the cell size? In this topic will help you understand the cell number, cell shape and the size. Let's start. There are a million of living organisms around us. Each of them has different size and shape. Moreover, their organs also vary in size, shape and number of cells. Cell size. The cell size is a variable in the living organism. The cell size may be as small as a million of the meter or many be as large as a few centimeter. Usually all the cells are microscopic in size and are not visible to the naked eye. Thus they need to be enlarged by a microscope for seeing. Now move on, cell shape. Usually the cells are rounded, elongated or spherical. There are also some cells which are long and pointed on both the ends. Such cells exhibited spindle shape. In some cases the cells are very long. Some may be branched like the neuron or the nerve cells. The nerve cells transfer the receiver's messages. It therefore helps in coordinating and controlling the working of the different part of the body. The component of the cell are enclosed in a membrane. This membrane provides shape to the cells of animals and plants. There is a cell wall surrounding them. The cell wall is an additional covering over the cell membrane in the plant cells. It offers rigidity the shape to the cell. Now move on. Cell number. Our human body has trillion of cells. Surprisingly enough, each of the cell varies in shape and size. There are several different group of cells which perform a plethora of the functions. Every organism that has more than one cell is known as the multicellular organism. Even an organism that has billion of the cells happen to begin its life with a single cell, that is fertilized egg. This fertilized eggs goes on to multiply thereby increasing the number of cells as the development take place. If an organism is a single cell called single celled organism, then it would be a unicellular organism. A single celled organism is just as capable of performing all the required life functions. So, just like the multicellular organism, the single celled organism also perform their functions but only using a single cell. Every single celled organism, such as an amoeba, capture and digested food, respire, excreted, grow, and reproduce. The similar functions are performed in the multicellular organism, however. In their case, these functions are performed by the group of specialized cells forming different tissue. These tissue in turn go on the form of organs. Now move on. Types of cells. Cells are similar to factories with a different laborer and a department that work towards a common objective. Various types of cells perform different functions based on cellular structure. There are two types of cells, prokaryotics and eukaryotics. Now move on. Prokaryotic cell. Cells come in various shapes and size based on the presence of the nucleus or membrane bounded organelles. Cells are broadly classified as prokaryotic cells or eukaryotic cells. Already I told you. Let's learn about each in more detail. Prokaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells lack both a well-defined nucleus and membrane-bounded cell organelles. Example of prokaryotic are blue-green algae, bacteria, and mycoplasma. Among prokaryotes, bacteria are the most common and multiply very fast. There are single-celled and range in size from 0.2 to 10 micron. Bacteria are found everywhere in rock, soil, ocean, and water. Did you know that there are approximately 10 times more bacteria cells than human cell in the human body? Now, most of these bacteria are found in the digestive system where they help in digesting food. Components of a prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell consists of different parts with special functions. The first one, cell envelope. Cell envelope, the covering of the prokaryotic cells that protect it from injuries and shock. From outside to inside, it has the following layer. Glycolyse. It's made up of macromolecules and could be loose or thick. Cell wall. It is made up of peptidoglycan and it is just below the glycolyse. Plasma membrane. This innermost layer is semi-permeable. Cytoplasm. It is the semi-fluid structure within the plasma membrane where the cell important parts float. Mesosome, there are extension of the plasma membrane into the cell in the form of tubules or lamella. They help with the following functions: cellular respiration and secretion, increase the surface area of the plasma membrane and enzymatic content. Now move on. Eukaryotic cells. What is a eukaryotic cells? Did you know that you are made out of cells? Cells are the smallest part of all living things that maintains the characteristics of its organism. There are two main types of cells, eukaryotic and prokaryotic. Animals, plants, fungi, and protists all are made up of eukaryotic cells, which are cells that have a nucleus, a protective membrane around the nucleus, and special structure called organelles. We humans and all other animals are made up of eukaryotic cells. Let's shrink down and take a look at the eukaryotic animal cell up close. Parts of a eukaryotic cell. The first difference we'll notice about a eukaryotic cell is how big it is. Eukaryotic cells are much larger than prokaryotic cells. Maybe it is because of all the parts they need to hold. The cells part are the organelles, and only eukaryotic cells are the only cells that have organelles. See the large organelles within the black dot in the middle, that is the nucleus. You won't find a nucleus in prokaryotic cells. The nucleus is the control center of the cell and hold all of the DNA. Now move on. Difference between plant cells and animal cells. There are some differences between a plant cells, animal cell structure and functions here. We have pointed out some of the notable differences. The plant cells have a cell wall which surround the cell membrane. On the other hand, the animal cells only have a cell membrane. Second one, in plant cells there are chloroplasts which are helpful in photosynthesis. In plant cells there is a large vacuoles in comparison to the animal cells. In animal cells are floppy. On the other hand, the cells in the plants are more structured because of the presence of the cell wall. It forms a lattice-like structure which help with the gradient. Now move on. Cell components. Cell organelles, occurrence, characteristic structure and functions. First one, cell wall. Structure. Present only in plant cells. Hard and rigid. Fully permeable. Made up of cellulose in plant and peptidoglycan in bacteria. Function. Protection. Gives shape and turgidity. Second one, cell membrane. Present in both plant cell and animal cell. Selectively permeable. That means allow the material, nutrient in and out of the cell according to the requirement of cells. Functions. Enclose the content of the cell. Provide shape animal cell. Allow transport by spread and osmosis. Third one, cytoplasm. Contain 80 to 90% of water and many organic and inorganic compound. Functions. Contain enzymes responsible for all the metabolic activity taking place inside the cell. Next one, mitochondria. Double membrane structure. Storage energy in the form of ATP molecules. Mitochondria, special name, powerhouse of the cell. Next one, chloroplast. Chloroplast present only in plant cells and contain a green colored pigment as known as chlorophyll. Function, of photosynthesis. Next one, vacuoles. Vacuole. Rise from endoplasmic reticulum, surrounded by tonoplast and filled with a cell sub. Function, store cell sub with maybe liquid or solid food toxic byproduct. Next one, nucleus. Director or brain of the cell. Covered by double membrane nuclear membrane in a eukaryotic cell, contain RNA, DNA, protein, nucleolus and chromatin network. Function, control the activity of the cell, start cell division. It has chromosomes or DNA which control the hereditary characters. Today's science assignment, answer the following. Learn all the question answers. Thank you.